right, well, good morning, everyone. I see it's a minute after 11 o'clock already, so we'll go ahead and get our statewide school facility monthly meeting started. I'm Jeff Becker. I'm your CAS chair and also the executive director of facilities and operations at the Office of the Fresno County Superintendent of Schools. It's great to have you with us today, and to all of our public sector folks out there. Today is August 15th, so school has probably already started or is imminently ready to start. So wishing you all success in that. I know we do it every year, and I pray for low stress and an easy time with back to school and welcoming all of our learners back into the classroom again. So again, thank you for joining us for our monthly meeting. Let me welcome also our first time attendees. And if you are a first time attendee with us or a new member, feel free to use the chat feature to introduce yourselves, and we'll give you a little welcome for being with us. And also a reminder to all of our attendees that as you're in the Zoom, you're muted, and we ask that you utilize the chat box with any questions along the way. So please make sure that you are messaging all panelists and attendees so everyone can see your comment or question by using that drop-down arrow. And just as a reminder, let's keep that channel of communication free for questions and refrain from any marketing or side conversations in the chat box. So thank you for that. If you can move us to the next slide, please. I want to highlight that we have a web shop later this month, and this is on the IREB4 guidance, which is the existing building guidance from DSA on the threshold of requirements for replacement and modernization of your facilities. So I know that Ida may talk a little bit about that as well during her presentation this morning, but that's an important issue for us to be aware of. So go ahead and register, check out the CAS website. Again, you can register and find more information there. And again, Friday, August 26th from 10 to 12. All right, next slide, please. Also coming up very quickly is our in-person fall conference. It's October 12 to 14 at the Hyatt Regency in Newport Beach, which is where we've been for the last year and for years prior to COVID in there. So new this year, and we're really excited about this, is feedback that we got from our annual conference. We are adding in the pre-conference workshop professional development curriculum in that Wednesday program. So really a good way for folks who are newer in the field to be thinking about, hey, how do I advance and prepare myself for that? And what are the practical skills to advance your career in a school facilities arena? So excited about that. Registration, again, is open. You can find more information also on the CAS website regarding the fall conference. Looking forward to seeing everyone in person there. So if you'll take us to the next slide, please, we'll jump into our state agency updates. And I mentioned with the web shop, our first state agent, we have Ida Claire. Always great to have Ida with us. Ida's and is head of the division of the state architect. So Ida, thanks again for being with us. I'll let you give us your update.
There we go. Thank you, Jeff. I'm going to share my screen. I'm trying to make sure I get to the right screen. No, I'm not. There we go. Okay, everyone can see that okay? All right. Now, why is this not advancing? There we go. So beginning on September 6th, DSA will be open. We'll have staff return to the office on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We're implementing our new hybrid work schedule at DSA. Most staff will continue to telework Monday and Friday. And up until that time, through September 2nd, we are accommodating in-person services with pre-scheduled appointments. But after September 6th, we are available for you Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Of course, we still want you to make appointments, but we are trying to maximize the difficulty in getting people assembled for a specific meeting, and increase the predictability that we'll have that available. And this is really important because obviously we have new code requirements starting in January. And so if you need to meet with us and have questions regarding your projects, we really want to make sure that we're available in advance of that time. A little bit about some work in progress. We have a very busy month in August. July was a little slower. I think people are on vacation and taking advantage of obviously the hot weather and trying to escape a lot of the heat. Probably went to a lot of places where there was still heat, but as a result, many of our projects that were originally scheduled in July moved to August at the request of those scheduling the appointment. So we have a very busy month this month, as you can see. And it seems that Sacramento is our busiest region, which is unique because usually it's Southern California. Looking ahead to September, we drop down again a little bit to 609 million. I will say that as we proceed again into the fall, we anticipate this going up. As I stated, there is a new code coming in January, and so we assume that October, November, December will be very busy months for us. So be kind to us, get them in as early as possible if you can, so that we're not slammed in January. But we're here and we'll produce the work as we need to. If we need to get our consultants involved, and over time we will. As I just stated, 2022 codes are now published. The effective date of the 22 California Administrative Code Part 1 was March 1st, 2022. The effective dates of Parts 2 to 12 is January 1st, 2023. Again, meet with us early at any time with an appointment. Use form DSA 91, 92, 93, or 94. Those are for the respective offices. 91's Oakland, 92 Sacramento, 93 Los Angeles, 94 San Diego. And for any of your project needs, discussing code interpretations, anticipated new code requirements, project schedules to determine if a project's exempt, any consultation you need, schedule an appointment, we're here for you. Talk a little bit about our collaboratives and work groups, which are really heavy into our rulemaking this cycle. Our Public School Construction Collaborative is an ongoing collaborative. We anticipate having a meeting in October. So for those of you on our Public School Construction Collaborative, anticipate that doodle poll coming out soon. The PSCC is our stakeholder group that is representative of our stakeholders. It's not a public meeting. It is a specific stakeholder group that we engage with to discuss DSA issues, propose rulemaking, and get feedback. Our Access Code Collaborative, again, is our stakeholder group, again, selected individuals that represent stakeholders that offer feedback on proposed amendments to the Access Code. We just impaneled new members. A couple of them are school construction facility representatives. So that's really good news. I was glad to see them involved in the Access Code Collaborative because the Access Code affects statewide issues. And we anticipate having our first meeting to discuss our proposed access requirements in September. Our Modular and Relocatable Buildings Task Force, we're anticipating that meeting in September 2022. And this is a group comprised of modular and relocatable building manufacturers. And we address a lot of those issues that are particular to that type of construction. Our Existing Buildings Task Force has been going along swimmingly. Again, this is also, whoops, sorry, I keep going back. We have progressed with this. Our 5th meeting will be on August 23rd. And we're really happy that this has been going well. We're trying to really address the issues that we need to address prior to any regulations being developed. So I anticipate there likely will be probably a meeting 5 and a meeting 6. But meeting 5 is scheduled August 23rd. And again, that is a selected representative group addressing the issues of existing buildings and EV4 and the requirements of the California Administrative Code 4-309C that basically says when a building reaches 50% of construction cost, it needs to be fully modernized to current code. We also have our cost estimating consultant contract. We've selected a cost estimating consultant. They are in the process of signing contracts, and we hope to have them in place by September 1st, and then working on establishing a new per square foot cost that's relevant for use in our EV4. We have our all gender multi-stall restrooms work group. This is open to all. If you're interested in this, check our website, and I'll show you where in just a minute to get involved in the discussion. I believe we've had one work group discussion. We may have one more prior to presenting regulatory requirements to the general public. So more information on that, and that is in partnership with Building Standards Commission to bring to permit all gender multi-stall restrooms in California, which presently the plumbing code does not permit. One of our strategic goals, of course, is our roadmap to CalGreen carbon neutrality. We're working with BSC and partner agencies and industry groups to bring to address embodied carbon in CalGreen and to bring CalGreen up to date so we can tackle our climate change issues. Our CalGreen Carbon Reduction Collaborative has been meeting. We've had about 3 meetings, and these are with state and national climate action leaders are assisting us in our rulemaking. And so our next meeting is September 8th from 9 to 12. You can listen in and participate on this CalGreen Carbon Reduction Collaborative, and I'll show you where in just a minute. Our electric vehicle charging work group, again, is a partnership led by BSC, DSA, and Housing and Community Development, also comprised of stakeholders. Our next meeting of the collective group is August 18th. Through this work group, we are addressing requirements for EV infrastructure for school facilities specifically. The requirements seek to align with the requirements for non-residential construction, but may deviate for public school applicability. So this is where you find more information on our collaboratives on our CalGreen Code Development page. If you look at active rulemaking, that's where you'll find all our meeting activities and links. I do want to call to your attention that we do have a CalGreen Schools public meeting. This is DSA's outreach specifically to our schools on CalGreen provisions. These are a lot of the provisions we've discussed with the collective work groups and collaboratives, but we're bringing this information directly to you because we need more information as to how we need to make these objectives public school applicable. So our meeting is August 24th, 1 through 4 p.m. That has been advertised. We're going to cover EV charging at schools, all gender restrooms, and carbon reduction strategies that are proposed for the next code development cycle. I want to tell you that we had an electric vehicle charging station for public school facilities district survey sent out, and we received up to today, 145 responses, which is fantastic. Thank all of you if you've participated in that survey. That survey ends today, so if you want to participate in that survey, the link is provided here, and I believe that Cash may be sending out this presentation later. But again, that survey ends today. You can also state your opinions at the CalGreen Public Schools meeting, but this survey helps us to refine our regulations so that we can have a better discussion at our meeting on the 24th. Oh, and that meeting's virtual, by the way. Again, our activities with Building Standards Commission, you can find information for all non-residential construction on their pre-cycle code page, and here are some of the work groups. A little bit about our tri-agency workshops. We had one February 3rd on TKK facility improvements. That recording's available on the DSA website. Our second one was planning for and addressing natural disasters, a school facilities perspective in partnership with Cal OES. And again, that is on a recording of that is also available on our DSA website. And our third one that's coming up is September 9th, Sustainable Facilities and Outdoor Spaces. And that is in presentation also in conjunction with CAL FIRE, who will be talking about green schoolyards and the funding they've received for green schoolyards through the Extreme Heat Grant. So please reserve the date and join us on September 9th. That information went out already to our listserv. And so our trade information on our tri-agency workshops are available on our interagency school construction resources webpage at the division of the State Architect website. A little bit about our Sustainability is Safety campaign. Just an update. Again, information on sustainability plan review can be found on our sustainability plan review page. Our DSA Academy also has resources for sustainability, green schoolyards, all electric, California Schools Kitchen of the Future, and California EVCS accessibility is provided on our DSA Academy and available for free. More information on our Achieving Net Zero Energy and Net Zero Carbon in School Facilities. This supports our education and outreach. And you will find a link there on the California Sustainable Schools Showcase, which is what we have on our website, and a new one will be coming by September 1st or by Labor Day. We will have a new sustainable school sustainability showcase on our website. And this one, the Yosemite Community College District, will be archived on our website as well. And that's just to be able to show the wonderful work that our schools are doing to become sustainable and create a network that if something interests you and you want to find out more about it, you can contact the design professional in the school district of the schools that we showcase. And so just a reminder, if you have a project tour, please let us know. We'd love to get our staff out there to see the great work that you've done and the great work that they've worked on as well. And again, stay informed by subscribing to our listserv so you can get all the information on our code outreach, on our collaboratives, and new sustainability information. So thank you.
All right, thanks for that update, Ida. You folks certainly stay busy over there at DSA, so appreciate the work that you do and for being with us and taking time out of your busy schedule to join us here today. All right, next up, we have the Office of Public School Construction. We have Michael Watanabe with us to update us on the happenings at OPSC as well as at the State Allocation Board. So Michael, thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you. Good morning. We'll start with SAB meeting updates. Today's meeting is at 4 o'clock via Zoom. If you noticed, we don't have a normal meeting room, but there is public comment available in the ziggurat on the 4th floor. We have a conference room set up. It looks like as a result of SB 189 giving the public agencies the ability to meet via remotely for access, the current board is desiring to meet via Zoom. That bill allows it through June 30th of 2023. So at least for the foreseeable future, including next month's meeting, it looks like the board will be meeting via Zoom only. I know we've heard a couple comments earlier about potentially meeting in person and that preference. I would encourage you to send letters to the chair, and then that she can work with encouraging the other legislative members and board members to do that. But it's kind of out of OPSC's control. It's however we can get a quorum for the meetings at the moment. So tonight at 4, and there'll be a web link on our meetings webpage. There was an update when we sent out the agenda last Monday on the table of contents. OPSC, we took out the regs for proposed for direct apportionments. I know we have a letter from Cash too talking about the funding orders and concerns over out of order. Initially, OPSC didn't see any too much concerns. There was a slight delay of between 3 to 6 months in the order of who got cash. We are going to explore. We have to work with Treasurer's Office and Finance with their general obligation bond survey and try to do what we did with the 250 million back in January. We think we might be able to swap cash around, use this general fund cash to pay for projects that got Prop 51 bond authority, and then pay it back with the bond funds later on when it's sold in the spring. But it's going to require some coordination efforts amongst the 3 agencies. So we need to get approval for that and see if they'll let us do that. So that's why we pulled off the regs. We'll see if that's possible, and we hope to bring something back with September. to try to mirror what we did in January to keep the date order. So more to come on that one for next month. But thank you to everyone who provided comments through the stakeholder meetings and through the letters. So we'll take a look at that and bring something back soon. In Lisa's executive office statement, a few reminders. Effective August 25th, we'll no longer be doing extension requests for our letters and responses as a result of COVID. We sent an email blast out, but most of the executive orders by the governor, all the conditions throughout the entire state expired on June 30th. So with that, we thought it's appropriate for us to stop taking extension requests as all. August 25th was tied to the date after the original August board date, and we didn't update it when the board moved to today. So we're going to maintain that August 25th date. If you still are impacted by states of emergencies, we will accept extension requests for that. Use the same form on our website they were using previously, just indicate what the state of emergency is. Through the normal processing process, as you're working with our project managers and our auditors, if you have deadlines due that you're not going to be able to make for whatever reason, reach out directly to those project managers, the supervisors, and those auditors, and they can work with you on those extension requests. And we'll continue to approve those on a case-by-case basis, knowing that it may impact which board we take your project to, depending on the nature of the request. But if it's not directly related to a state of an emergency, then don't use the extension request form on our website. As a follow-up to the board's actions in June regarding piggyback contracts and the grace period, just a reminder, August 21st is coming up, that if you have any contracts for piggyback bids for modular facilities, after August 21st, you will be ineligible for funding. Also, as a result of the board's actions, OPSC has created a dedicated web page for piggyback contracts to advise of the AG opinion, the statutes regarding public contract code. And we've also kind of outlined each step of the process from a funding application standpoint of how our processes will change to check for contracts during each step of the way. So on our resources page on our website, you'll find all the information how processing will change. We are asking for contracts if you have them in advance of processing, intake, fund release, every step of the way, up until a 3-year audit. So there'll be various checkpoints to make sure we're not giving out funding for those kind of contracts. And everyone that's on OPSC's email list, we have already sent out an email blast advising of both of those things, as well as every superintendent and district rep in our system as well. So those went out a little while ago. Some updates from the 22-23 state budget. AB 181 provided $100 million for 22-23 to the full day kindergarten program, and another $550 million in 23-24. So our intent right now is to give out that money as part of the next filing round that'll open currently in April of 2023. So we won't give it out to the current round. We intend to take regulations to the September board that'll change the definitions for school districts that'll allow community colleges to apply for preschool program grants. So minor reg updates to allow for that to happen, but we didn't want to give out the $100 million until those regulations are changed so they have an opportunity to apply for those grants as well in April. Linwood Unified, as a result of their structural issues at Linwood High School, was provided $250 million. That money was allocated to the state allocation board to give to that district on a flow basis. You'll notice the statutes heavily mirror the school facility program that was intentful on that purpose, but we're working directly with the district to give out that money. So those will be presented to the board as the applications come in to fund their work. The school facility program was provided $4.2 billion, or intent language is also in there for future years, but immediately available in 22-23, as we talked about for the direct apportionments item, is $1.3 billion is available now, with $2.1 billion available in 23-24 and $875 million in 24-25. OPSC later this week and going into next week, we are going to start notifying projects with the assumption that the regulations will eventually be approved, but we want to get the notifications out there that we want to start working on these projects. So again, that's to notify you that you have 90 days to give us eligibility updates for your new construction projects or submit updated site development worksheets. Those letters will go out for projects that we're anticipating to be presented into December, January, and February. You'll note with new construction that 90 days, we are going to overlap October 31st. So you will be given the option to use 21-22 enrollment or 22-23 enrollment, depending on when you send back your responses to OPSC for those eligibility enrollment updates. So there'll be language in the letters that we sent out this week to indicate that one. Let's see other updates from the for the Career Technical Education Facilities Program. Cycle 6 is now officially closed. During the last round, the board had OPSC hold all applications through June 30th, so we can continue funding down the list of apps received. We've hit that mark, so we will be sending back all applications not funded. As money returns through loans and the leases, OPSC will monitor it, and then if needed, we'll take back a future item to the board to reallocate those funds when there's enough to give out and create a round. The 22nd priority funding round that was apportioned in April gave out 652.6 million. OPSC received requests for 620. So the leftover cash for projects received one non-participation occurrence that will need to participate in the upcoming November round. And the remaining cash will give out as part of the apportionments as well. And then, as I mentioned before, the next board meeting is September 28th at 2 p.m. And currently that will be via Zoom. Another update for you, OPSC is actively testing an online version of the facility inspection tool. I know we've had some requests for the Excel version and the programming to be updated. Right now, our developers have spent all the time creating an ADA accessible web-based tool that you can use on a laptop, on an iPad as you walk the campus to live update, score, and record the results from your facility inspection. Right now, it's a public available link, but we have shared it with a small group of testers to go through that tool and see that does it work for them and get user feedback. This new form will allow you to save the data as you key it in for right now approximately 6 months. When you hit save, you'll receive an email that provides a link to you to get back to the form so that you can continue editing it, saving it. You can share the link with other people so that they can edit and add on to the form. That form will auto-calculate your facility score based on the current fit scoring methods. And then it'll also be able to export to a PDF so you can save it for your own records. A few things not currently available on the user testing version is the new cleanliness details page that we recently calculated or created. So that one needs to be created and then work those calculations into the form as well. But we did want to get initial feedback on functionality from stakeholders. So that is floating out there. And as soon as it's ready for full usage, we'll send an email blast out to everybody.
Hey, Michael, can I ask a follow-up on that since you brought up FIT? Is there still intent to provide the Excel spreadsheet? I know a lot of county offices are as we speak, training and planning to go out for Williams inspections, as well as school districts using that for their own school accountability report card data. And a lot of us tie other spreadsheets into those spreadsheets and use that as a planning tool and a management tool more actively than I think what just the web-based form allows. So is there still intent to get that spreadsheet out? And maybe if there is, when could we expect to receive that?
Yeah, anyone that would like to receive the Excel version, we will email it to you. We can't post it to our website though, because of the way it's programmed with all the drop-down menus. It's not just a plain form from a visual standpoint. We can't make it ADA accessible to the general, all of our general public. And so because of that, that's why we can't put it available for easy access on our website. But if anyone emails our communications team, we will email you an Excel copy of the form. So it will be available that way, and we'll continue to do that for at least the near future.
All right. Yeah, I appreciate that, Michael. That is a valuable tool for a lot of us that maybe use that beyond just the basic calculation of the score.
Understood.
So thank you for that.
And last update, OPSC Online. Currently, we are working on testing release 16. That functionality we expect to be made in production on August 22nd is what we are currently targeting. The next release will allow full day kindergarten program projects to submit the Form 7002, the 7003, and grant agreements via OPSC Online. So working on testing for that one. And hopefully by the end of the month, that'll be released. In parallel, we're also working already on release 17, which will be targeted for the end of September. That release will bring the financial hardship program into OPSC Online. So the ability to do your phase 1, phase 2 checklists, upload all documents associated with your phase 1 and phase 2 financial hardship reviews. All that will be moved on to OPSC Online. We'll have a dashboard within each school district that'll allow you to see all the packages you've submitted each year, which ones are currently active approvals versus which ones 6 months have expired. Those will sit on another section of your dashboard. So we hope to have that functionality by the end of September. We're currently targeting. And then other development that we are working on right now as well, that'll occur throughout the fall and going into winter quarters. We are working on the project tracking number generator, rebuilding that into OPSC Online. The project tracking system, we are working on making that available to all users outside of the OPSC Online login, because it's all display information, eligibility, fund release information, all publicly available information. We're working on rebuilding that in OPSC Online as well as DGS moves on to newer programming technology. We're also working on the project information worksheet and integrating that into OPSC Online as another module within each application. And we are working on rebuilding the enrollment projection calculator at OPSC Online. Many of you know Microsoft stopped supporting Internet Explorer, and the calculator was not meant to work in Edge or Chrome originally. So with the newer technology, we do need to upgrade that too as well. So we hope to move that also as an available option within OPSC Online. Okay. And then I'd already mentioned we have a joint agency workshop coming up on September 9th with CDE and DSA. The Eventbrite link is on OPSC's website as well. You can register for that, or the link will be available as well. With that, that's all the updates I have.
All right,
So
thanks
comment from Rob Young in chat. If you email me or our OPSC communications at dgs.ca.gov, we can email you an Excel version of the fit too.
All right. Thank you very much, Michael, for being with us. I was taking just a quick glance at the chat as well, and I think we've addressed everything and responded to Rob's question there with emailing to get that spreadsheet. So thank you again for taking the time to be with us this morning, and looking forward to working with you on a lot of these regulatory packages moving forward to the SAB. So it's good to have projects being processed and move forward, and we'll try and work as a team to point out where there could be some pitfalls from school district side. So thanks again, Michael.
Great. Thank you.
All right, so next up we have our legislative, regulatory, and maintenance network updates, and we've always got the great team of Ian Padilla, Nancy Chaves Espinosa, and Rebecca Curley to update us. So I will let you folks go. I believe, Nancy, you're usually going first. So glad to have you with us this morning. We'll let you update us on what's going on in the legislature.
Glad to be with you all. I will have a very quick update for you since our partners have really provided such wonderful updates for you today. So we want to thank Michael Watanabe and OPSC for working with us and other stakeholders on really trying to get the best process possible and at the same time trying to expedite getting this general fund proceeds out for school facilities projects. So we remain part of that conversation. We really appreciate the way that they continue to manage that. I also want to give folks an update. Often we have CDE facility folks join us here, but we now have an opportunity to work with CDE Nutrition Services Division on the process for getting the kitchen infrastructure funding out. So they're going to have a kind of a webinar. They call it a town hall. On August 23rd, we'll send out an email to CASH members so that you can sign up and get an update from them on their process for making those funds available. They are telling us it's going to be very similar to what they did last year with a significantly smaller amount of money also for kitchen infrastructure. So we know there are some changes to the allocation formula. I think that's what our members are most eagerly awaiting. So we, at minimum on August 23rd, are hoping to hear a little bit more about the timeline, at least for that information to be available, when applications applications will go live and when money's going to go out the door. So we will share that out with you. And with that, I'm happy to pass it on to my colleagues, Rebecca Curley, and after her will be Ian Padilla, who are going to tell you what's really hot now that the legislature is in its last 2.5 weeks of the session. They are working on the floor full time, and there's still some major things to be decided. So Rebecca, take it away.
Thank you, Nancy. I'm going to start with one where the fate of this bill has actually already been decided. We just had a big deadline last week, which it was the Appropriations Committee deadline for the suspense file. So suspense file is a mechanism that's used to collect bills that may have a fiscal impact on the state, and then to allow each house of the legislature to prioritize, review all those bills and decide in one hearing what they're going to allow to continue moving forward and what dies on suspense. So we did have one bill that Cash was actively engaged in that did meet its fate in Senate Appropriations Committee last week. This was AB 902 O'Donnell, a bill that would create an alternative design build process that looks a lot like a progressive design build process, authorizing open book procurement and allowing you to negotiate your GMP a little bit later in the process. That bill did die, so it did not pass out of the Senate Appropriations Committee, and it will not continue moving forward this year. That one is something that Cash had concerns about language in prior versions of the bill. We did work to negotiate amendments with the author, who is Assemblymember O'Donnell, and the sponsor, who is Los Angeles Unified School District, so that the ability to use that authorization would extend to all school districts. A concern that we had was a narrowing of that ability, but that bill is not moving forward. So we'll keep you posted if there are additional efforts to continue looking at this in the legislature. It's been a really hot topic, not just for schools, but for other public agencies. Department of General Services and the state actually have given themselves the ability to use progressive design build for a couple of state projects, including the construction of the new the swing space that's being used while the construction is happening at the Capitol. So stay tuned. We'll let you know if there's anything else there. I did want to mention one other bill, and that's AB 1867 Lee. This is a bill that's related to modernization projects and a requirement to update your plumbing fixtures. So it's just for those that are funded through the school facility program. The bill had been previously amended to only apply to projects after a new state bond is approved. So not those that are tied to the general fund appropriation that's being discussed right now for implementation for our projects. The bill did move out of its appropriations committee on the Senate side, so it's still alive, still moving. Cash does not have a formal position on this bill, but we did have some concerns about essentially mandating the use of the state grant for a particular purpose, upgrading your plumbing fixtures if they are not currently the efficient, like the water efficient plumbing fixtures, without the grant actually getting bigger, right? It's additional constraints on the use of our grant dollars. The bill previously would have applied regardless of what work you were planning to do. So let's say that you were planning to do work in the classrooms and not in the restrooms. The bill as previously drafted would have still required you to go into your restrooms and update them for these plumbing fixtures. And we're worried about the dominoes that would fall after that happens. The bill to move out of Appropriations Committee, the author did take amendments to narrow it. So it's now just applying if you were planning to do work in your restroom. This is a really good example of a bill where it's not going to have earth-shattering effects. We certainly have a belief that we shouldn't be mandating additional specific work without helping schools figure out how they're going to do everything within the state grant. But this is also an opportunity for us to start working with members of the legislature who have shown an interest in the school facility program. So we've actually spent a lot of time with Assemblymember Lee's staff, helping them understand the funding process and how our modernization projects move through the different state agency approvals. And it's been a really productive conversation as we're looking to establish relationships partnerships with folks who will be leaders in the school facility arena moving forward. So with that, I will pass it on to Ian.
Thank you, Rebecca. Nice update as usual. So yes, I will be doing the cash maintenance network update. And as my colleagues said, in terms of the legislative process, we are now a couple of weeks only on the floor. So it's really getting down to brass tacks. One bill that we're following very closely and continuing to oppose, unfortunately, is SB 1144, which has to do with assessing both school and state infrastructure plumbing systems for lead, and doing assessments, possible mitigation, and of course, there's no funding associated with the bill. Also requires folks that have buildings that are 10 stories or over to do a Legionella water plan and management plan. So there's a lot new, certainly beyond AB 746, which schools have almost have done all the work on. It's a significant, significantly new work in water quality and management. So we're watching this one very carefully. Cash and all the other educational associations continue to oppose the bill. So we'll see what happens, but watch this space carefully. This bill is definitely of concern, not only to school maintenance departments, but school facility departments in general. So watch this space. SB 1144. And just quickly, I really appreciate Michael Watanabe's discussion of the FIT form. You know, the FIT has been updated, as you know, and so there's a new form. And so OPSC has their own version, but also there is the Excel version is available. So you just need to contact them. I think Michael put the contact in the comment section. So that's good news. There's options on both sides there. Certainly the maintenance network, and we heard from our members, definitely interested in a new approach to it, but definitely the Excel version is what folks are used to, and allows folks to manage the information. Williams inspections are here coming, so an important topic. So with that, thank you very much, and I'll turn it over to Jeff.
All right, thanks everyone for that. Thank you, Ian. Nancy, do you have anything on School Energy Coalition to update us on?
I do, sir, and I'll do a quick
All right.
one. The SEC actually has one of its monthly meetings tomorrow. So the biggest part is that the environmental package, the energy/environmental package in the budget is still under development. You might think, wow, there are only 2.5 weeks left to session, but that's boatloads of time. You know, in the eyes of lots of folks, they only need to put that bill into print 72 hours before they can vote on it. So unfortunately, sometimes those things don't get sunshined until a few days before the end of session. So that really is the period of time that they have to work, and we continue to engage in that process, trying to get some of that money for school environmental needs. We are still engaging with the PUC regarding NEM 3.0 advocacy. They still have not put out a revised decision, and we continue to really implore them to allow solar to remain feasible for schools, as opposed to what they proposed with their NEM 3.0 proposed decision. We are beginning to engage with the California Energy Commission with its upcoming work to implement the EV bus replacement program. We actually have a speaker from the CEC at the SEC meeting tomorrow. And we are engaging in a lot of the work that Ida Claire described, specifically the joint effort between the Division of the State Architect and the California Building Standards Commission to work on carbon reduction and EV bus chargers. So that is work that SEC is engaging in. So that's just a really brief overview of everything that's going on here in this very busy time of year. I'll pass it back to you, Jeff.
All right, thanks for that, Nancy. Certainly a lot to work on in that arena right now. Ian, I'm going to come back to you for anything for Californians for School Facilities at the federal level.
Jeff, nothing new. I know they are still going to take their trip in September, which is good news. We know there's some good news on this front with the new, I guess it's called the Inflation Act or whatever it's called. So in addition to supporting the traditional pieces that we have, the qualified zone academy bonds and so on, I'm sure there will be having appointments about that. There's a lot of opportunity in there. So yeah, a lot of momentum there. That's all though.
All right, thanks. And yeah, certainly I'm not sure what we call it, the Inflation Act or the Inflation Reduction Act, but lots of stuff to process in that document.
Yep.
All right, so I see Alan's jumping up on the screen here to share with us all about the rapidly approaching 44th annual conference. Alan.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. The rapidly approaching 44th annual conference that will be held in Sacramento at the Sacramento Safe Credit Union, February the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. So we need to make sure everyone marks their calendars and gets ready for that annual event up here in Sacramento. Our annual conference planning committee is very busy in finalizing all of the workshop topics. If you happen to be someone that submitted a topic for our consideration, you should have received a response from our CASH staff last week. We want to thank everyone for submitting topics. It was a great list of topics that we really worked hard with all of our co-chairs to whittle down to those topics that are we believe are going to provide the most value and content for our conference. So thank you all for your submittals. And that information should have went out. We are finalizing all those topics now, which include an expanded level of professional development that will be hosted on our first day of our conference. So encourage everyone to get there early on the 24th or 22nd, excuse me, get there early on the 22nd and take advantage of several different professional development opportunities. For attendees, exhibitors, sponsors, registration opportunities will be opening soon this coming fall within the next month or so to allow you to sign up for the event. Hotel information will be included, so keep the CASH website right at your fingertips and look there for a host of information that will be coming out over the next weeks and months as we get ready for this event. So great time, looking forward to seeing everybody there. It'll be a face-to-face event in Sacramento. So exciting times, and I'll hand it back to you, Jeff.
All right. Thanks, Alan. Thanks to you and the Annual Conference Planning Committee for all your hard work on that. I know that is a tremendous amount of effort in that. So always put forth a great product. So again, thank you for that. All right. We'll bump to the next slide here, job exchange and people's choice. And so if you do have a professional opportunity, whether it's an RFQ or RFP or a job listing at your district or firm, take advantage of the CASH website. Where you can post those and reach a really diverse audience to get the best applicants for your position. Again, you see some of the positions that have been posted back in July. CASH members, remember, you can log into the website and then make those postings directly through your portal there. So a great opportunity to reach a big audience with your positions. And with that, I'm taking a last look at the chat to make sure that we've covered everybody's questions. I don't see anything new that has popped up in there. So it looks like we're coming up a little bit early here. So we'll give you the gift of time and maybe get started on that lunch hour, beat the lunch crowd. So mark on your calendars for the next CASH day, which will be Wednesday, September 28th. Again, we'll be doing the membership meeting on Zoom from 11 to 12:15 p.m. Put that on your calendars, and really appreciate everybody joining us today. Thanks so much. And again, best of luck with the start of the school year. Thank you for being with us, everybody. Have a great day.